work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what they say. Hard work, work, work. Earn more pay. Hard work, work. Hard work, do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. Ready to go and earn more pay. Hard work, work. Put the boots on and lace them up. Hard work, work. Another day to work. Hard work, work. Hard work. That's what they say. Hard work, work. Hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work, work. Move on now. Hard work, work.
All right, we want to welcome everybody to another edition, another episode of Hard Work for Veterans by Veterans podcast. I believe we at episode number 30, 31, somewhere like that, but we're just going to keep it moving. I am one of your hosts, Michael. We got my man from the SEC Championship state, won the SEC Championship last night. My dog Walton, fresh off a win off my Bulldog. We got my man Jamal from the Parts of Unknown, and we got a special guest this week, man, all the way from Michigan to Florida by way of the highway. We got Mr. Darnell Johnson with us today.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, fellas, man, I know, last night was pretty tough for me. I just got the rest. I just got the last little part of that elephant tusk out our backside.
Oh man.
Hey man, why y'all had to do it like that, man? Why y'all can't just let us win one, man? Come on. Come on, man. Can we win one?
I was sweating it at first. I said, man, come on with it. I couldn't even talk trash even when we were 3 touchdowns ahead. I said, no, it's got to go. I had to fourth quarter there, boy. I need to hear that. Oh, yeah.
Hey, but the one thing I can say, some other people try to talk some noise on us. We the only team that put fear in Alabama. Don't nobody else put no fear in Alabama. Nobody else. Nah. But when them Georgia Bulldogs come in there, we come down through there for about 3 quarters.
Everybody tighten up here, boy.
Everybody tighten up, man. Dress right, dress. Yeah, man. So
all that trash about the ACC, but you come down there and get y'all SEC teams every now and again. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's like a blue moon, man.
Hey, I'll take it.
My Spartans visited Alabama in that 2015. I'm still having nightmares about that. Still having nightmares about that. Yeah, I'm still having nightmares.
Hey, y'all got that tusk too, boy. When that elephant hit you with that tusk like that, boy.
At least y'all put some points on the board. I think my team stayed on the bus. Y'all got off the bus at least. I think we just stayed in the locker room or something.
Last time them boys from Florida State went out there, man, we didn't get no tusk. We got some crab legs.
Crab legs. Yeah. I'm Auburn out there.
Oh man, I hope they were worth it, boy. Good one too. Little garlic on there, man. Little garlic sauce on them.
They got some crab.
Oh man, so but we don't put that behind us, man. A lot of people upset with Kirby, but Kirby, you still my dog, man. You still my dog. Need you to come on the podcast. Shout out to Kirby Smart, Georgia Bulldogs, SEC champions, runner-ups, and shout out to Nick Saban, the legend. Hey man, listen, we just bowed out, man. Ain't no more.
I'll get another shout out.
Yeah, I think Kirby taking a timeout right now.
Right. If I were him, I would.
Right. He didn't want to take that, but congratulations, man. Yeah.
Yes, so hey man, so we're gonna go on and get into the podcast, man. We got a special guest. we got Mr. Darnell Johnson. He's a retiree. He's a I ain't gonna say certified, but what's the word I want to say? Program graduate of the home base program out of Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
So Mr. Darnell, man, just bless us. Tell us a little bit. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
How you doing, man? Again, thank you for inviting me on. And again, I started my military career in 1978. It lasted for 24 years, 7 months. During that time, I was met with a lot of different challenges. And what got me to home base, June of 1994, while on a temporary assignment after coming back from overseas, we did a det down in Key West. During that time, I had an incident where I was shot twice in the chest in the barracks down in Key West. Over that time, I brought back some veterans doing different things off of aircraft carriers. Half of my time, my first half was spent as aviation mechanic. The last 15, I was law enforcement, military police investigator. And so, going through a lot of car crashes, a couple of murder scenes, things of that nature.
So Mr. Darnell, you said you were shot?
Yeah, I was shot twice. And unfortunately, I've been over to Afghanistan, Kandahar, picking up prisoners and things of that nature. But, I've got some uniforms that got bullet holes in them from being over there, but I never got hit over there. Got back here and got hit by one of my own in the barracks. This young man was 10 years in. Long story short, he got they had a court martial. He got 29 years, Leavenworth. My life continued on. I almost didn't get to stay. Thanks to my father. I call it God. My higher power, who I call God today. He's always been watching over me, giving me the strength and courage to follow, then lead, and be a mentor, coach, a participant in everything. But, those things we learned how to suppress. And I think that's what I was alluding to earlier. We learned how to suppress those things. And over time, when I got out, I started going to different VAs to trying to address it, not actually having words for the emotions and feelings, not want to show any sign of weakness. Although I completed my career, it took a while before I had to finally just keep searching until I found the right source. I've been to the VA in Gainesville. I've been to VA up in Cleveland, Ohio. They have a brand new VA hospital, Lewis Stokes VA Center. If anybody not up in that area, if you're down here in the South, you got Gainesville, and even in Florida, we got they got multiple places. I'm down here in Bay Pines now, or I came through Bay Pines, St. Petersburg, and came on down to Naples, where they have a sister clinic. That led me to the, Start Action People for Help. And somebody heard my cry, and they introduced me to this program at Home Base. The Home Base program is based out of Massachusetts. And it's called, it's a 2-week intensive PTSD program. And I like to say at this point that PTSD was not just attributed to, actual violence, but, it covers the gambit. And there I was met with guys that had TBIs, combat, women, sexual traumas. The wide, they go the whole spectrum, and they're introducing a new type of therapy now. It's called CPT, cognitive process therapy. And then in this new process, it affords you an opportunity to meet whatever demons you got head on, instead of trying to dance your way around them per se. That's what I called it when I was doing CBT, EMDR, talking to a therapist, talking to a psych, to get the real problem out. And, those nightmares, not from just a gunshot wound, but every episode or everything that I had seen over time. So I went up there back in March, and they did a good thorough screening, and I was like, wow, man. The first day we were making strides, and I got out in 2003, but I never made strides like that right off the bat. I think I told you before, Michael, that it gets frustrating when we go to VA clinic or we go to any type of any place that they may have a new building, like that building up in Cleveland, but old people, and I say people because it covers the gambit, that say things like, what, I got to deal with another veteran, I got to deal with this. We need help. We've been wound up tight for a long time, and learning how to decompress. You don't exhale. You don't just do that and walk away. So
now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How did you know you needed help? Like, were there any signs? Like
several. For me, it started with, again, first just denial. I'll work through it just like I did when I was out in the field on the ship. Any intensive, I look for that adrenaline to keep my mind wound up. And even after I got out, I looked at things I started drinking more. I started numbing myself by just isolating, rejecting any type of interaction where, if you weren't military, how do you know my problem? And so, no matter what that intensity is, we can't share those stories with everybody because we're going to traumatize them. That's what I felt. And all they wanted was just help. They want to help for me. It took a long time for me to ask for help. It really did. That word surrender or I need help just wasn't in my vocabulary. Now, that was on me. I learned that today. Mm-hmm. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of fear. But just trying to find the right mix. A lot of those words we can't put into words. We can just tell the facts. People can read it on paper, but they weren't there, no matter what it is. And
now, when you first reached out, were you like, did they have open arms and welcome you in, or how did that actually work?
I felt like I was in an assembly line just being passed through. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. What's your problem?
Yeah.
I use that term. They still use it now. I understand. Suck it up, buttercup. That kind of term.
Yeah.
It was just being bypassed, no matter what it was, constantly being just discarded. And in that, after a while, I'm like, maybe they're right. I mean, if I'm the only one saying this, or I seem to be the only one saying this, I had to look in the mirror. And I don't know why I kept pursuing it, because, well, I gotta know now, but it wasn't right. I wasn't the same person that I was when I was in. I'm not the same person than when I was growing up, but we all mature over time. And with that, what we know and what we're capable of doing and what we've been wound up and tight to do, that's the only thing I didn't know how to do, how to decompress, how to let it go, how to reintegrate myself back into a place where I'm not looking over my shoulder. I went to combat. I went to all of that thinking, all right, when I get back with my group, we're going to decompress together. But then when I come back here and this trauma happens and, I don't feel safe on my own home at home.
Can I ask a question? Go ahead. Sir? Have you gotten to a point where you do feel like you decompress, like you can decompress, like you feel
you know what? It's taken a long period of time for me to actually, reintegrate. But that 2-week intensive PTSD program was the groundbreaking. That to me, it was an eye opener. I'm not alone, but there's more people that are speaking up now, and the VA has come a long way by understanding that no, it's not just another person or any type of trauma, whether like my man Walton or anybody else that's been in those high stressful jobs. There is a problem. Now we can't change the job because it may lessen the impact of the job. So I'm glad to see that they're paying more attention to it, and they're dwelling in now to get more about PTSD, how it affects the subconscious, not just the out. So yeah, my insides are starting to look like my outsides today. I'm smiling. I'm more apt to come and do things like this. I'm not here to because I want to see myself on camera today. I'm here to want to tell somebody else you ain't alone. And if that can reach one person, then that's good, because I still got a long way to go. I still have a long life to live. I believe next month I'll be 62. And I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still cautious of situations a little bit. Concentrated areas. 4th of July has never been the same.
Right.
New Year's ain't been the same because people gonna do what they gonna do.
Right.
And unfortunately, the state of this country, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. I don't know how many conversations I've had over the last 10 years about people. When I go to the range to decompress, I still like to do those things. But when I hear people, they need bullets, they need this, that, and the other. Are you signing up to go overseas? Or you going home to shoot your neighbor?
Right.
Man, listen, you got a hammer over there. You just knocking them nails down, man.
I want to be able to. I want to be able to be proud of what I've done, and I am proud of what I've done. I'm proud of what I've served. That won't be taken away from me anymore. But I won't second guess myself today.
Right.
Whereas in the past, I second guessed myself. Was starting to. Was it the right thing to do? I can't get that time back.
Right.
So there's more pros and cons to my career and the things that I've done. I have to take responsibility too for my actions, and that in itself, me myself, I wasn't one to just step up. I want to put it on something else. My frustration and things of that nature, I have a solution today.
Right.
So let me ask you this. So when you found home base, did they start you out in Southwest Florida? Did they send you to Massachusetts? Like how did that process work?
Well, when I went to the VA here, I went over my doctor, talking to him. He asked me to go over to the wellness center. So I went over to the wellness center, and the program was just getting some notoriety down here. So I got in contact with them. They responded immediately. They're looking for us. They explained the program. The program is a 2-week intensive PTSD program. You do a screening. Everything is paid for. They set up flights. They set up hotel reservations. They picked us up. When I was met there, I was met immediately by active people that are retired vets. They took care of everything, but they did a thorough screening to see if you were ready to face those demons, and that's the bottom line to the program. They're going to give you one-on-one, hands-on type of interaction. In 2 weeks, I got about 11 months worth of information, hard and fast. Not everybody is ready for that, to relive that at different points, and rightfully so. It took me a long time to get to that point. So they do a thorough screening. Since that time, since I've talked to you last, Michael, I got selected to go to another one called Road Home up in Chicago. They do the same thing. It's the same type of 2-week intensive intensive PTSD training or information, and I leave on February. So I'm looking forward to it. It's an ongoing process, and even after when I came back, they immediately got me. They kept it going seamlessly. And when I got back here, I got hooked up with a therapist, so they continue on with the same thing. Now my interaction, that's on me. I have to get up and go, and give it my all when I'm there. And I look forward to it. I really do.
So now, go ahead, Jamal.
I don't mean to keep cutting people off. I like what you said there, where you said it's an ongoing process. Because myself, when I was going through the process, and still am going through the process, when I first started, I felt like, oh, I'm gonna go tell me what I need to know, and I'm gonna be fixed, and it's gonna be all good from there. And that's not the case. It continues. You got to keep working.
That's right. And I love the way they integrate it for me. How for me to integrate it into my civilian life. They don't try to talk to you as if you're going back out in the field or you're going back out to sea. They know where we're going when we leave there. We're going home. Yeah, right. We're going out. We're going to church. We're going to the store. We're going maybe going to a 4th of July celebration, maybe. But they're giving you the tools, more aggressive tools. And when I say aggressive tools that you can internally use. And I've been surprised. Michael alluded to, I did have a drinking problem, so I had to address it. And I'm not ashamed to say that today. We spent 30 years in the military, and that's what sailors did. But it's not what sailors had to do. Right. Even afterwards. And all that said, I'm addressing the problem all the way around, not just one key point. And they're giving me the tools now to do that. And because more people this organization is stepping up and having other organizations step up to do this, I think it's incumbent upon myself to hopefully, I don't know how many people are looking at this podcast right now, but if you're a veteran and you need help, or you're a man of service in like Walton's field, in any type of high stress situation, there is solutions today. It's not just the old gambit. If I took that gambit, they ain't gonna do nothing for me. I didn't go look. I have to go look, and then I have to be willing. Now, each person is different. I know what feels good for me, and I really needed those. I needed those nightmares to subside, and if I take that tension to sleep, go ahead, Michael.
So let me ask you this: so can you like give us like maybe one of the resources they taught you, or maybe one of the tools that they taught you to handle?
Oh yes. When you go to cognitive process therapy, if you guys look up those words. Cognitive process therapy is a new method of what they call dealing with stuck points. Stuck points are areas in my in the recovery process to me that I just could not get around, or I couldn't identify. I couldn't just say, or the person couldn't say, "I'm sorry," and then I was supposed to feel better inside. Stuck points are areas where I can take a look at each problem that I may have and break it down. And that's what you got to do. Break it down to better understand it. The more information I'm fed about how I can do that. If I don't want to go out to the store because I get a little agitated in crowded situations, or it's not that I'm scared. It's just that I get real.
Yeah. Get anxious.
I get anxious, but I have a short fuse for foolishness.
Right.
I have a short fuse for foolishness.
Exactly.
And people are going to be people. I cannot change people, but I can change myself. Now, turn that, that in the Bible it teaches about, turning the other cheek.
Yeah. Something going on with the
Camera?
Not the camera, the audio.
Oh, with me?
No, it muted me and Walt's mic for a second there.
Oh, I think Walton is.
You got to unmute your mic.
Walton.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah. I hear you now.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, it just gives you different avenues. I can step away, but it's called if you look at cognitive process therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy teaches you how to deal with your behavior. Process therapy teaches you about your thinking and how you process your thinking. And I'm a thinker. I'm sorry, but that's what we were trained to do: think, act, and respond.
Right. That's what I mean. That's where I was getting in the most trouble because I spent a lot of time in my head, so I know exactly where you're coming from, boss. I'm tracking. I'm with. I'm serious. I could sit in here and like you said, you're already wound up. I could sit here and think about something that happened in my career in the past or whatever, and it could be a bad couple of weeks or worse. You know,
Yeah.
Just
that's
in my head.
That's when you go to self-medicating, and alcohol is one of those number one things. I've been self-medicating myself, trying to get away from the alcohol, and it helps, but it only helps. You got to have somebody to talk to. You got to talk to somebody.
Right.
You got to get that out of you because that's. I mean, you got to get it out. You got to talk to somebody.
Right. And like you said, for me, it was the alcohol and then isolation.
Yeah.
I just won't be around nobody.
Right.
And me in my own head with a bottle of Crown, not a good show. Not a good show. Not a good show. And it's not a good showing for your family, who don't really want the best for you, and they're try not to aggravate you. But it feels like a personal attack against you.
Right.
And as a personal attack, I'm going to respond anytime. And I'm learning, today, I continue on with my work, my therapy, getting involved. The more that I talk about it, I'm able to explain it, expound on it, whatever. I've been December 19th, I'll have 20 months of sobriety. I'm doing it. I'm trying to do it one day at a time. I know I can't use that because that's just going to trigger it. Now, when I got a clear head, I'm more apt to listen more. I'm open now to better situations. Now the situations have to be productive for me, and everything has been. I can see it clearly now, and not only this podcast, but Michael knows we both on the advisory committee trying to help others. I belong to a vet home base or a vet talk every week. We meet every Wednesday, and then I have a therapist. I go to daily meetings or recovery meetings, but I'm getting out. I'm exercising more now. That's a good thing because the kitchen was kitchen was another spot.
No doubt.
Hey, I'm right there with you on that one. And it's funny that you say that, Darnell. So vet talk, like that's really what we are here.
Yeah.
And we get together every Sunday.
That's good.
And we started doing this. Was it right before the pandemic hit? I think it was right before the pandemic hit, or right around that time.
Yeah.
And man, we've been using it like this like our therapy, man. Because we all were in the military stationed together out in Fort Carson together, and so our friendship is over 20 plus years.
Oh, well, thank you guys for inviting me. I hope I can continue on with you.
Yes, sir.
Because it does get a little frustrating when you're the only color in the room having some issues.
Right.
And a lot of times I'm not going to be dismissed anymore as an angry black man. No, I'm not an angry black man. I'm just like every other man that's got a problem.
Right.
Please take that out of the equation and let's move forward. Right. if we can't, we got to do that, because my issues are not exclusive to my color. I'm more apt to be frustrated by some of the remarks that you're going to make that I had before I went to the military.
Right.
In the military.
Right.
And then come back after the military, and he's still talking the same rhetoric. So I'm kind of used to that. That's not the issue. You got an issue with that.
Right.
My issues are a little deeper than you today. So you're more easily to be dismissed. I can do that today. I was taught to separate that a long time back. But the more information that I have, now you're going to have another problem, because you really don't want an educated black man. That's the problem.
Dangerous right there.
Yeah, I'm already. That's what you told me a long time ago. That's what you told my father. That's what you told his father. That's what you told my grandfather. That once we have knowledge, we're more dangerous. Okay.
Right.
Well, it's free today.
Right.
It's free today, and I'm getting it.
All right.
I'm getting
Yes,
it,
sir.
and I'm sharing it.
That's the key, man. Sharing the information.
Right.
You got the information. Like we try to share. Whatever information we have, and in the words of Walton, he'll say, "Listen, if I'm wrong, correct me."
Right.
So far, man, we ain't had too many people, that have, responded back as far, in a negative way.
Right.
I do get a lot of DMs and messages from people saying, "Man, hey, keep talking about that elephant in the room in our community."
Yeah.
Like we don't talk about it. I just had this conversation earlier. We don't talk about mental health.
Right.
We don't talk about depression. We don't talk about stuff like that. And we got to get to a point, especially black men.
Right.
We'll take it. It's that old song, spiritual song. Or it's a story where the goat fell into the well, and the farmer, he was gonna bury the goat, and so what he did, he started putting dirt on there. He was gonna, putting dirt in the well, and the old goat, every time the dirt hit his back, he shake it off and pack it up under his feet. Well, that's what we do with issues.
That's right.
We shake it off, pack it on our feet, and keep going on about what our daily living is, rather than, hey, here's a problem, and I need to talk to somebody about it
before it becomes a bigger problem.
Right.
And that hill that you're talking about in that well, once you rise up to the top, because you packed up all that stuff, when it come out, it ain't pretty.
Right.
It ain't pretty for nobody. Nobody. And those that are intentionally trying to antagonize, diminish, you're not going to diminish my military career. You're not going to dismiss me for what I do.
Right.
And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to continue to introduce myself as a veteran to make you feel at ease.
Exactly.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that as a man of service in any type of service. I'm not going to introduce myself as that to make you feel at ease. You have some internal issues that you probably need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
But statistics has already shown we ain't shooting up high schools. Sorry. We're hurting ourselves, but we're not shooting up high schools. We're not using, I just bought me a new gun. You really want me shooting at you? Really?
Right.
You just bought that off the rack. I had somebody drilling in my ear for 30 years about how to put that thing downrange and put it on target.
Right.
Even when you move it. Even when you move it.
Even when you move it.
Even when you move it.
Set a mask on you.
Right. And all that other stuff going on around me, silence. I'm focused. I'm focused. So you know that noise you talking, I know how to plug that hole.
Absolutely.
I know how to plug that hole. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to live like that because that'll continue to keep me in that intense, wound up state, on guard state.
And you can't sleep at night.
I don't want to live like that.
Right.
I got to deal with, I have to deal with today's issues because today's issues are there. But it's not ISIS. It's not an ID. It's not a traffic stop. It's not, when I started, I have 2 kids. My first wife was in the military with me. And, they got militarized off the bat, unfortunately. And it was sad to see a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old with their backpacks on at the front door, and mom and dad scrambling around trying to get their keys to get out the door. And the kids know where the stuff is. They're already programmed to go. I missed something in there. I can't get that back. I can't get that back. We go out to sea. My first one, I go out to sea, come home for 3 years. After 3 years, then she go out to sea. And the kids are doing this.
Right.
And then when it came time to retire, we're trying to talk to some kids, and they're like, we was in the military too.
Yeah.
But we ain't kids no more.
Darnell, woo, boy, you going somewhere with it right now.
We ain't kids no more. We got a discipline and a mindset that you gave us, but tone it down, Dad.
Yeah.
Man, you see, and I go back to my father's house, and that's taken nowhere. That's not going anywhere. So I'm glad that my kids are productive today. I'm glad that they're with me. I'm glad that they, I took a step away from everybody and everything when I asked for my help. I started asking for help in 2017. Seriously. I did 10 years at the post office 12 years at the post office after I got out. But I continued on that numbing behavior after I got out, and I isolated.
So let me ask you this. This more on the funnier side now.
Right.
Was you the angry black man at the post office?
Oh yes, and I was around other angry black men and women too that were from the military because they was scooping us up left and right. Look, y'all can't go to corporate America. Come down here and get these bills out on time. And we hung out in groups just like that. Post office people, I say normal post office people, the post office led by nepotism. But when we come in with structure, that's why they hired us. We showed up every day for 20 plus years or wherever we were at. We know what punctuality is. We know what a system of things does. We know how to do that. We're not frustrated by a system of things. Oh, here come another military regimented man. Don't you look like me? Bruh, I ain't going to military. Your fault. That's your fault.
Yeah.
You ain't got to work. You got a retirement. That's none of your business. You had an opportunity just like me.
Exactly.
Look, that's what Jamal here all the time.
You had an opportunity. But don't categorize my good behavior, my punctuality, my uniform, my uniform that's clean with, well, I've heard so many different things over that time. And it was kind of the reason I left. I was good money. I'm in somewhat still decent health. But all the money in the world and me just running from those other issues, it was easier to put on headphones, listen to some music, and focus on one thing and drown out them committees that was going on in my head.
Right.
You can only drown it out for so long, though.
And once you go, yeah, I just happened to work at the post office when I blew up. Just happened to work at the post office. Yes, and that's how this news is going to read. Retired angry veteran goes off at the post office.
Right.
3 strikes.
Don't
Right
say,
there.
yeah.
That's
Right.
3 strikes right there.
Hey, angry veteran.
80 black veteran. That's 3 strikes.
Yep.
Why can't you just, excuse me?
Mm.
You ain't never been there. When they say
Right.
lockdown, Walton, at lockdown, what happens? Blood go from 0 to 9,000, sharp as a tack.
Right.
Cool as a cucumber. Because I see you still got your eyes, your limbs. I don't, because when you're dealing with people, they ain't got nothing to live for.
Yeah.
Either you meet them on a roadside bomb, or you walk by a cell and get stabbed.
Right.
You let your guard down for 1 second.
That's it.
You're being watched more than you watching. I only got 2 eyes, and so
that's crazy. Just to think about that is, you got 24 hours in a day, and you don't go for 24 hours.
24 hours.
Right.
Like you really a time ticking bomb.
Exactly.
I went
That's
to
how
get
it is. Yeah, that's how it is in a war setting. Your adrenaline is constantly going. You might, after a period of time, you get used to it. But when you come back back in the continental United States, you feel it. You feel it. Everything around you slowed down, but you're still going.
You're still going 900.
And you feeling it. Yeah, you are on high alert. And I still get that feeling, and I used to suppress it with alcohol, a little something, not
Everything. I just covered the
not a little, not too much, but
I covered the gambit. I'll put it out there. I'll say it. I covered the gambit. I covered the gambit.
So you saying you ain't discriminate?
No, everything that made me feel numb or changed my thoughts. Well, let me try that. Top shelf liquor and bottom shelf liquor gives you the same effect. Bottom shelf liquor, you just get more of it. That's what I learned. Top shelf, bottom shelf, you just get more of the bottom shelf, and it's a little more. It ain't filtered as much, so you got all that kind of impurities.
Woo.
I'll tell you guys, when my retirement date was 2003, and I had an incident where I had an injury to my eye, my retina, and over time it built up a cataract. And so I had to have cataract surgery right before I got out. I've been going at such a high tempo for so long. My blood pressure was 175 over 160. That was a normal blood pressure for me. Normal. You see me? I'm 260. So all that says is that I've been working on my heart for so long. It can't take that. It can't take that. And for them to give me a stress test or to figure it out, they had to put me on a treadmill and running at a 2-minute mile on a 3% incline. My blood pressure went to 120 over 80. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
I had to be running at a high tempo for my blood pressure to go to normal. And that's what PTSD is about. Getting your body back to a rhythm. You can't go to sleep if your heart's pumping.
Right.
Doctor used to say, and I don't want to live on medication all my life.
Right.
I didn't. For them to numb me up when I was 230 at the time, for them to numb you up for cataract surgery, they got to shoot you in the eye. When normally men or women in their elderly years get cataract surgery. Their bodies are frail, so it don't take much. It took them 6 times to shoot me in my eye for it to go numb.
Wow.
And then that gunshot,
they didn't put you to sleep.
You can't, because you have to be awake, but your eye has to stop moving, the muscles. So when he finally did it, that was the first time he came back in. He was prepping me. He shot me in the eye, came back in after 15 minutes. And when he finally got the numbness right, This eye went over here. This eye stayed straight. First time I ever vertigo. Two pictures in your head, and I just threw up all over the place.
Wow.
Good. Man.
But even at that, here's the kicker. When when they were doing the prep for the surgery, I've had a total knee replacement, the gunshot wound, a couple other surgeries. But when you go to the doctor and they say, "How much do you drink?" A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Now this is for the anesthesiologist, right? The anesthesiologist is trying to gauge just how much is it going to take to knock him out. I've had 6 knee surgeries, and I've woken up every time because the anesthesiologist didn't have enough. And finally, I had the same anesthesiologist a couple of times. She said, "I knew you lied. I knew it." But when we lie to our doctors about how we feel, how can we get help there?
Wow.
Right, you can't.
You can't get help if you don't want to expose how you're numbing yourself and what you're numbing yourself with.
Can't get help.
I only drank a little bit of Crown, chased with a couple of beers, a couple of cases, or a couple of fifths.
Yeah.
So we got it. For me, I had to start there, calm my head so I could listen to the people that were trying to help. Now, also left the VA in Gainesville. I was so through because when I got out and they did my disability rating, they gave me 30% for the cataract surgery and 10% for the gunshot.
No.
That
don't even make any sense.
Who's doing the equation? How many people are on camera here?
4.
4?
Damn.
Ooh.
I lost 8 inches. He shot me twice point blank with a 9mm. No vest, no nothing. I lost 8 inches of my transverse colon. It punctured the lower intestine. I went from 230 to 160 in 15 days.
Ooh.
I had the colon. I had the colostomy bag for 3 months, and I was told I was supposed to have it for the rest of my life. That was supposed to be the end of my military career. My father was watching over me. Things started to activate, and they put me back together. I'm not in there like God intended, but the nutrients that used to keep me fortified, even in the field or out on the ship, they pass through real quick these days. So now I have another downside too, and they equated that to be a 10% disability rate. Really?
Wow.
When I went to
go ahead.
When I went to this home base program, I appealed. I got out with 60% originally. 2008, I applied again, still having issues. Had to have a couple other surgeries after I'm out now related to the gunshot. Constant battle with medications, supplements, anything like that I was passing through. Getting skin rashes, body's not retaining the proper nutrients. I was getting responses like, "Well, eat more."
Wow.
This is from VA in Gainesville. Went up to Cleveland. Well, we can get you to a nutritionist, but there's a 4-month backlog for nutritionists.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's rough, man.
And that's kind of what you hear for the mental health stuff too. You'll hear that. Yeah, also 4-month backlog to see a psychologist.
Just a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And the people that they're hiring as psychiatrists is still government stuff. Government, they're taking they want to help out Match Top U. So anybody with a just B C passing, looking for a cookie cutter program, and now you trying to talk to me?
Right.
Well, the book says I can read too.
Exactly.
You troubleshooting me like I'm a vehicle.
Oh no, an old vehicle. An old vehicle. An old vehicle. Medic. I mean, well, I didn't read the new stuff. The new stuff was, what I look like taking my car into a car mechanic, and he was like, I only know how to work on 61 Beetles. You only sell a new cars here. You only sell 61 Beetles.
Right. Right. You're gonna lose your customer base.
Oh no. Just leave it here. Leave it here. And they just basically like they do us. Go wait in the waiting room. So they put the hood up on your car, just go eat lunch.
Right.
Go to the VA. Well, we got an appointment. And then the VA, I think at the first 3 years that I was there, I get an appointment, and before I left the building, the appointment was canceled. And then when I show up to the appointment, we canceled your appointment. I ain't getting no notification. Well, we sent it out. I go back home, and the next day it come in the mail. Your appointment is canceled. 2 days after the appointment.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
2 days.
That's because they canceled your appointment right when you got there.
Right when I got there. Now, what's changed since 2003 till now, or at least 2008? I am so glad that anytime that you go into a VA clinic and they say we don't have an availability, great. Give me a community care referral, please. Right. Give me one. Because not only do I get that, but I get a doctor who is not in training. If I live near a military hospital, I don't get a doctor on a rotation. Right. I live near NAS Jacksonville Hospital. So any primary care doctor I had, he was always on a 3-year rotation. Right. So every time I go in, I'm like, you go in every 6 months or a year. I might have caught him in on his last year, and I go in, I got a brand new doctor. Page 1.
No, listen, man, I'm going through that right now. I'm about to fire all of them. I'm about to fire all of them.
No, man, you got to look. I need somebody permanent that's going to work with me, like a normal doctor.
And that mental health side is horrible because it's the same, just what you described. You done went through and you done created a relationship with this person, and you done went through some of your darkest moments and all that good stuff. And then they say, oh, this person is PCS into their next deal, whatever. The new doctor comes in and they want to go back and dig into all of that stuff.
Yeah.
All over again.
Yeah, I can't keep doing that.
What's the point? That's those stuck points. That's part of those stuck points that they're realizing now. Continuity for us is key.
Right.
We need continuity.
Because we've been on a set schedule. Hurry up and wait.
Right.
But we know what the hurry up part. We know everything gonna happen in the hurry up. We understand the wait part. Right. But it's like that every day.
Well, not only that, but their part. I don't mean to cut you off, Michael, but their part needs to be better. And I've addressed it every time I go to the VA. If you have a cancellation, somebody from that office should call me. Hire another assistant. You got 4 people back there on phones, and every time you walk in, they hard at it.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, girl, I'll be out there to, or whatever. No. If the appointment is canceled, if the doctor is canceled, so I don't know if you guys know about e-benefits.
Yeah.
And then My Healthy Vet.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, staying logged into that, where I can send my doctor a direct email and he's supposed to respond within 48 hours.
Yep.
48 hours. And if he don't, then I'm knocking on the desk. I'm knocking on the window. Hey, I called Dr. Umpty Ump. I emailed him. Did you use My Healthy Vet? Yes, I did.
Sure did.
I did get frustrated at the beginning. What? My Healthy Vet? I remember when the corpsman came around and said, "Hey, I need to see you." I'm Ghost. You know, so I gotta do my part too. If I want them to hold up to their part, I gotta do my part. Now,
Right.
me learning more about this, I'm holding their feet to the fire. And you know, my kids remind me all the time, Dad, we know you're going through something. But let me tell you this. And my son leaned into me one day and said, let me tell you this. I understand all of that. But with all the medical coverage you got, if you should go down for some medical coverage reason that you could have seen, we digging you up, Pops. We're going to talk. And he's right. You know, we taught them how to do what's right.
Right.
And now that military training he got early is coming back on me. But it's in a good way, and I like that. You know, my daughter remind me.
So Darnell, we finna get ready to close in a few.
Okay, I'm sorry about taking up your time, but
So no, man. Listen, I'm telling you, man. I got my popcorn over here. I'm writing notes. Man, listen, you done gave me enough, man. You gave us a whole meal, man.
Hey, look, you guys need to reach out to that home base program.
That's just what I was gonna ask you. Go ahead.
Reach out to the home base program. The Road Home program. Road Home program is out of Chicago. It's all, everything is taken care of. You do an assessment. They're looking for us to fill the slots, the cohorts. They're looking for us. When we get there, you know, if you're ready to do the work, they're ready to work with you. You know, I don't think it's a cookie cutter program for me. I've seen what I've seen from cookie cutter programs where we go into the vet center, they give us that waiting list. Wow, you know, you got to wait 3 months. Okay, what am I supposed to do for 3 months? Sit on my hands? I got to work. I got to live. I got to subside. And you know, if I could fix myself, I wouldn't need this. Bottom line, but I need to see somebody now. It's hard to suppress those feelings and emotions a lot of times, but you know, so you don't forget, I can only suggest that you get a little journal, go to the dollar store, whatever, get a little book. Excuse me. I say get one of these. So when you go back to the doctor's office, write down those feelings. Write down those, you know, if you got to hide this from yourself or from everybody, but so you can recall it when it hits in the middle of the night, jog it down. Tell them exactly how it feels. And if you give them the true diagnosis to that vehicle that's broke, they're not going to fix it. They're not going to overnight. It's not an overnight fix. We in for the long haul, fellas. We did the first part, but the rest of our life, now, you know, it can taper off as we get better. But it's like religion, man. If you got it at the beginning, you're going to keep it to the end. And we're fighting for our lives now. We're fighting for our lives, our livelihoods. My own personal, I'm not doing it for anybody today except me today. And in retrospect, I've learned now that if I do it for me today, everybody that's connected for me benefits.
Right.
Everybody benefits in their own particular way. If they see a different stride in my step when I'm not trying to rush through Walmart with all that shenanigans and crap, I can listen to somebody up in the front of the line do that thing, and I'm like, wow, sucks to be you today. You know, if I can sit back and be patient a little bit better. You know, Mama might. I don't know if you guys are married, but I just left Collier County getting that last freedom paper, so I'm good for that right now. I hate to say it like that, but I'm 3 and out. I'm 3 and out. I'm 3 and out. 13, 13, and 5.